What do you get when a tipsy joke in a random interview blows up and takes over the internet? You get Hayley Welch, or should we say, the Hawk Tuah Girl who turned 12 infamous words into viral gold. But what seemed like a rise to fame quickly turned into a chaotic ride of bad choices, public shade, and lawsuits that would make anyone cringe.
The most miserable, horrible launches I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, then why the fuck are you on?
So stay with us in this video as we get into all the details of Hawk Tuah, the 176 days she'll regret forever. Getting famous these days? Oh, that's the easy part. Keeping that fame alive? Now that's the real challenge. Just ask Hayley Welch. She had her brush with internet fame, but holding on to it turned out to be harder than she thought. Her whirlwind journey to viral fame kicked off on a YouTube channel called Tim and DTV, a modest little corner of the internet with 21,000 subscribers. The hosts specialized in simple street interviews around Nashville, Tennessee, nothing too crazy, until Hayley and her friend Chelsea Bradford stepped into the spotlight. Hayley, a Belfast, Tennessee native who used to punch the clock at a bedspring factory, was living with her grandma in Nashville at the time. During the interview, things started off pretty tame. The hosts asked basic questions like, "What makes you wifey material?" But Hayley wasn't about to keep things boring. Encouraging them to spice things up, she set the stage for the moment. That's when one of the hosts asked her the now infamous question, "What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?" And Hayley, she delivered a line for the ages in her thick southern drawl. "You gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing."
It's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time.
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing, you get me?
Yup, you heard that right. She was referring to, a very unique approach to lubrication. Fueled by a little liquid courage and some unapologetic confidence, Hayley's moment of candidness was about to take the internet by storm. The next day, Marlo took that gold mine of a clip and shared it on TikTok, and just like that, other accounts across social media started reposting it, sometimes even wiping off the Tim and DTV watermark. Dickerson and Marlo weren't just sitting back and watching though. They ended up filing about 50 copyright claims in the days following the video's release. The clip made its way to Twitter and Instagram thanks to a smaller creator named Darius. But in the chaotic world of the internet, small things can snowball fast. Within 48 hours, the video had 18 million views and 500,000 likes. Even Darius was floored, thinking, this can't get any bigger. Spoiler alert, it absolutely did. Another million views rolled in within the next hour, proving once again that the internet loves a bit of unfiltered chaos. TikTok went wild for it. People couldn't get enough, dubbing Hayley the ultimate vibe. Comments flooded in like, "Protect this woman at all costs," and "Hawk Tuah for president." That phrase? Yeah, it turned into a meme almost overnight. Meanwhile, the original video, it went viral. Millions of views flooded in from TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. The video became a phenomenon, spawning remixes and spin-offs and earning Hayley her new, unforgettable title, Hawk Tuah Girl. Even the phrase became a full-blown meme, taking over the internet in the blink of an eye. At first, Hayley was totally freaked out by how viral her clip had gone. "The first week of it, I was so embarrassed," she admitted. "I wouldn't come out of my house. I went to work, but that's about it. Other than that, I didn't go anywhere. But I went from being embarrassed to living in the moment." After seeing vendors selling unofficial merchandise based on her viral moment, she figured, if everyone else is making money off of it, I might as well too. So Hayley jumped on the bandwagon and created her own Instagram account. It wasn't long before she had a big social media following and tons of media attention. Dickerson and Marlo were happy for her success, but a little annoyed that they didn't get any credit for helping kickstart her fame. From working a minimum wage job at a bedspring factory, Hayley was now making waves in the world of social media. She launched a company, secured an agent, and even began selling merchandise themed around her now famous phrase. By June 27, 2024, she'd quit her factory job and teamed up with a local apparel brand to roll out her Hawk Tuah merch. In just a couple of weeks, she raked in over $65,000. Her Hawk Tuah hats, priced between $30 and $40, sold out in just 9 days, with Rolling Stone reporting she made a lot in sales. Even Joe Rogan jumped in, saying he wanted to get some Hawk Tuah gear.
You got a Hawk Tuah spit on that thing, girl.
But it didn't stop there. On June 29th, Haley joined Zach Bryan on stage in Nashville to perform his hit song, Revival. A few days later, she was hanging with Shaquille O'Neal during his DJ set in Nashville. By July 2nd, she signed with the Penthouse for representation. Fast forward to August 15th, and Haley was throwing out the ceremonial first pitch at a New York Mets game. Then on December 11th, she made a guest appearance on the late-night show Jimmy Kimmel Live for a hilarious segment, rounding out a whirlwind year. By August 15th, 2024, Haley was seriously living her best life. Not only did she throw the ceremonial first pitch at a New York Mets game, but she also launched her own podcast, Hawk Tuah, under Better Media, the company co-founded by none other than Jake Paul. But Haley wasn't stopping there. On a podcast, she set the record straight, revealing that she wasn't, in fact, a preschool teacher.
You said that you were a teacher and got fired from your job.
No, I'm not even old enough to be a teacher.
I was gonna say, because you're 20.
Despite some wild rumors swirling around, she also shared some hilarious stories, like the time someone offered her $600 just to spit in a jar.
It's my hats. He got offered $600 like 3 days ago for me to spit in a jar and sell it.
Next, she hired a full-on management team, including a pro videographer, and started making some serious business moves. One of her big wins was signing a deal with Spencer's to get her Hawk Tuah merch in stores nationwide. Her popularity exploded. She hit 1 million followers on Instagram in less than a month, started raking in $30,000 for club appearances, and even got a shout-out from none other than Eminem, who dropped her viral phrase in a post. Things were moving fast, and Haley was absolutely crushing it. But here's the thing. The higher you climb, the harder you fall. And Haley quickly found that out firsthand. Public opinion started to shift, and the praise she once received for being a national treasure began to fade. Fans who had once rallied behind her were now leaving comments like, "This is embarrassing," and "Why do we keep making clowns famous?" Paparazzi were lurking outside her house, making her deal with the overwhelming consequences of her newfound fame. What started out as a drunken joke had exploded into a viral storm filled with merch sales, memes, and a whole lot of attention. But as Haley learned the hard way, success that comes too quickly can lead to a whole lot of chaos. Haley went from being a beloved viral sensation to the face of the disappointing ass world we live in, and the latest entry in the Making Clowns Famous saga. The internet's love affair with her was quickly replaced by its harsh judgment. And just like that, things got real for Haley. She found herself facing some unexpected problems, like trying to talk her grandpa out of grabbing his shotgun to scare off the paparazzi who'd set up camp outside their house for weeks. The constant spotlight started to mess with her daily life, and it got so bad that she couldn't even go out in public alone without feeling paranoid. "It's really strange," she admitted. "I can't even go out in public by myself anymore. I'm paranoid I might get kidnapped or something." Her paranoia hit new levels, and she started moving around with 5 security guards just to feel safe. If there was one lesson she learned fast, it was that fame wasn't all it was cracked up to be. When asked about the worst part about being famous, Haley sighed. "Everybody's staring at you when you walk into a room. It just feels unsafe." Despite the downside of fame, Haley wasn't about to let it slip through her fingers. She capitalized on her viral status by launching a safe-for-work version of OnlyFans called Fanfics, charging $10 a month to her subscribers. She also introduced an AI dating app called Pookie Tools, a dating advice app she partnered on with Ben Gans, the founder of Ultimate AI Studio. However, the reviews were not exactly glowing. Disgusting was one of the kind of responses. Whether it was genius or a flop, one thing was clear. Haley wasn't done trying to cash in on her viral fame. She even dove headfirst into podcasting with Hawk Tuah, a host that seemed more like a platform to hype up Jake Paul's gambling company than anything else. The podcast quickly became a disaster, and even Jake Paul himself couldn't resist roasting it. When asked why she started it, Haley described the show as a treasure trove of scientific, historic, and revolutionary wisdom.
What is your plan for, like, unless you don't want to, but what is your plan for, I
And
guess,
do you
like,
have a
oh, Jasper.
What did he say?
The comments on Hawk Tuah were absolutely gold, with listeners leaving sarcastic comments. Ironically, the trolls gave the podcast a near-perfect IMDb score, calling it a genre-defining masterpiece. But of course, the thousands of dislikes told a much different story. Despite the podcast's dumpster fire reputation, Haley managed to land an interview with Mark Cuban. Too bad she veered straight into cringe territory by asking awkward questions like, "Do you do anything with crypto?" Mark, ever the pro, confessed to owning a ton of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Haley, however, couldn't resist using the moment to plug crypto herself, shouting out a Bitcoin conference and boasting about how she was putting some money into crypto. And in true Haley fashion, she even entertained the idea of launching her own crypto token because, hey, why not? In the end, Haley proved one thing. She'd do whatever it took to keep the fame train rolling, even if it meant turning her viral moment into a full-blown, chaotic circus. Haley even launched her very own meme coin, the HWK token. The website hyped it up like it was the next big thing. It's not just a meme coin, it's part of the culture. But underneath all the flashy marketing, things were already looking fishy. A community notes post pointed out that 96% of the coin's supply was controlled by just 10 wallets. This meant that only a select few had all the power to manipulate the coin's value. By December 2024, Haley launched the Hawk token on Solana, and it skyrocketed to a market cap of nearly $500 million before crashing down to $25 million. Of course, not everyone was happy with this. One investor even filed a complaint with the US Securities and Exchange Commission, accusing Haley's team of running a pump and dump scheme. Cryptocurrency journalist CoffeeZilla also got in on the action, accusing Haley of insider trading. Haley's team denied all the accusations, but the damage was done. Later that month, a lawsuit was filed against the Hawk creators for allegedly promoting and selling unregistered cryptocurrency. While Haley wasn't named in the suit, she responded by saying she took the situation seriously and promised to cooperate fully with the legal parties involved. When critics called the whole project a scam, Haley hit back with a bold, "fake news." But it didn't take long for the cracks to show. Furious investors flooded Twitter with complaints. Haley's co-creator didn't help matters either, calling angry investors mentally ill and claiming crypto just attracts miserable people. Meanwhile, Haley blamed the whole mess on bots, saying, "We got sniped today, but I didn't sell a single token. Screw the sniper bots." Things really went downhill when YouTuber CoffeeZilla stepped in, calling the project a total disaster. "This is one of the most miserable launches I've ever seen," he declared. He accused Haley of profiting from transaction fees and said, "Someone just made over $1 million on fees. Who's the creator? Haley Welch, right? This is a scam." Haley tried to defend herself, but the damage was already done. As the backlash piled on, Haley did what any overwhelmed crypto rookie would do. She disappeared. "I'm gonna bed, see you tomorrow," she said, slipping out of the spotlight. But her brief retreat didn't last long, as a class action lawsuit was filed by a dozen plaintiffs, claiming over $150,000 in losses. To her credit, Haley eventually acknowledged the mess, advising victims to contact a law firm for help. Still, the questions kept coming. Did Haley really know what she was doing, or was she just completely in over her head? Either way, things didn't look good for her. To make matters worse, her Instagram didn't exactly scream remorse or reflection. The only post she made after the whole scandal was a video of her living it up on a luxurious vacation, leaving everyone wondering if it was all funded by the proceeds from the HWK coin. In the end, Haley went from an overnight internet sensation to a prime example of how quickly things can spiral when you try to capitalize on viral fame without a clear plan. The whole thing was a big, epic failure that seemed to crash and burn faster than anyone could have imagined. What are your thoughts on Hawk Tuah Girl's unprecedented rise and downfall? Let us know in the comment section and enjoy our other videos.